Exodus 23, verse 20 to 33. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you on the way and to bring you to the place that I prepared. Pay careful attention to him and obey his voice. Do not rebel against him, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if you carefully obey his voice and do all that I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. When my angel goes before you and brings you to the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I blot them out, you shall not bow down to their gods nor serve them, nor do as they do, but you shall utterly overthrow them and break their pillars in pieces. You shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from among you. None shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I will fulfill the number of your days. I will send my terror before you, and will throw into confusion all the people against whom you shall come, and I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, and the Hittites from before you. I will not drive them out before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the wild beasts multiply against you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you, until you have increased and possessed the land. And I will set your border from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness to the Euphrates, for I will give the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall make no covenant with them and their gods. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me, for if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare to you.
In today's passage, God speaks of a place that he has prepared for Israel. This place is a place where Israel will learn of obedience unto the Lord. It is also a place that God has allowed Israel to face hardships through enemy encounters, and may face a time of temptation of turning away from God. The amount of time God has allotted for the tribulation and hardship is not an immediate one. There is to be a time of patience and endurance, as persistent faithfulness will drive away the enemies gradually. When the Israelites remain faithful to God's command, God will be the one who will work for Israel and fight the enemies on their behalf. It is ironic to think that God has prepared a place of hardship for Israelites. Before Israel had entered into the Promised Land, God was preparing to test their hearts. The reason God tested their hearts was to have the Israelites produce steadfast faith. James chapter 1 verse 2 to 4 says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." God is quite specific as to the reason why he wants to lead his people this way. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 6 says, "For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives." Because God loves us, he leads us through a time of testing and tribulation in order that our faith may come out pure as gold. As we meditate on today's passage, let us realize that God is the one who leads our lives, and if he has allowed a time of testing and trial, let us recognize that it is because he loves us and wants to grow in faith.